honestly, I keep forgetting to bring this up, but man, the weather has just been so nice lately. I mean, not perfect. I mean, I think Wednesday was the worst when you would literally walk out the door and you would immediately just feel the humidity on you. Seriously, I think I could have been like standing still and I would have been like dripping in sweat. It was so bad. But that was probably TMI. Yes, the weather has been awesome and it looks like it's going to continue for a little while long. Well, actually, that's not entirely true. I mean, we've had some like spouts of spouts of rain, but I think that's because, whenever it gets hot, eventually it's going to rain anyway. So, that happens. Although, it's funny. Whenever I work out in the morning, and I do work out, and I get up early in the morning before, the sun rises, because, as the sun rises, especially this time of year, so will the temperature. That being said, I try to, even with, the sun not being fully risen yet, it's actually still really hot. Like, especially at night after, like, it rains, because, like, the rain hasn't, like, fully, like, evaporated yet, and it gets so, like, not steamy, but you can tell there's sort of like a misty, like, fog in the air because, like, the water from the rain is evaporating because it's also, like, really hot out as well. I don't know. It, like, sort of, if you're, like, working out in that, it's definitely going to build up a sweat for you. That's for sure. I mean, I don't really, not that I really pay attention to that, but I never really had, that issue. But then again, for the sake of building up for the sake of heat conditioning, I do wear an extra layer or two, even when I work out in this weather, just because, it's heat conditioning. It's honestly why I never really feel as hot as I should. I mean, I do feel hot, just, not like, I don't feel like oppressive hot. Although, I was going to be really cheeky and be like, well, I am hot in a totally different way. But anyway, good morning and happy Friday, everybody. Although, because it has been hot out, today is Friday, and I do get readers, so that's always nice. Although, one thing I have been having lately, technically I haven't getting the Swedish Fish Italian Ice, that's my favorite thing there. But, for the sake of, 4th of July and probably the rest of the summer, they have what's called 5-layer gelatis. Now, if you've never been to Rita's, a gelati is basically like a layer of custard on the bottom, a whole bunch of Italian ice if you're choosing, and some custard on top, right? Well, that's essentially 3 layers. 5 layers is custard, ice, custard. So, and because 4th of July, I get, vanilla custard with Swedish Fish Italian Ice and blue raspberry Italian Ice. Needless to say, that's an awesome combination, and, America. So, yes. So, enough about that. How about we get into, what I was going to discuss, and that is the newest episode of Amphibia, and, man, you could not have picked, like, a worse ending to sort of make my jaw drop, and now I have to wait until Monday to see what happens next, essentially. So, this is Family Fishing Trip and Bizarre Bazaar, which I think you can take a wild guess. If you've been following along with the show, you know exactly which episode I'm referring to in terms of giving me that reaction. So let's start with Family Fishing Trip. Well, Family Fishing Trip, pretty self-explanatory. It's time for the annual Family Fishing Trip. And, Sprig really sees this as a very special time because since he was a pollywog, Hop Pop would, take him fishing. And, he uses this as a way to, quality time, if you will. And, it's great. And, that's nice. You always gotta have quality time with your family, I like to have quality time with, my grandfathers, both of them are still alive, knock on wood, there we go. And, but it turns out that this year, Hop Hop invites, Sylvia, his now girlfriend that he, met up with a couple episodes ago in the, dance-off episode. Hold on. I have the, episodes right. Yeah, Hop Hop and Lock. It was episode 11, so, yeah. So, yeah, they're sort of, bringing it back to a few, story elements, and I like that. That's awesome. So, basically the entire time, Hop Hop is really spending time with Sylvia a lot more than he is spending with Sprig, and, Sprig gets kind of jealous, and so eventually, throughout the entire fishing trip, Sprig is coming up with ways to, sabotage it. Like, he tries putting, like, hot peppers in Sylvia's sandwich, but Sylvia can not only handle the heat, but they do that whole cartoon shtick where when you have something hot, you breathe fire. She, like, turns around, breathes the fire, like, and then, like, she laughs about it, and then it cuts back to Sprig, and his face is, like, all charcoal burnt, like, expelling smoke, whatever. So basically, shenanigans like that ensue. Meanwhile, Anne is actually learning how to parasail, because, parasailing is something I've always actually wanted to do, but she's not really that great at it, which does lead into something really funny later on in the episode. So, eventually, Sprig tries to, sabotage Sylvia into getting off the boat to swim to this one island to, pick up, these flowers for Hop Hop. But as she's leaving to go get those flowers, Hop Hop gets into his real fishing gear to go spend time with Sprig because, Sylvia was able to notice that, Sprig is feeling kind of down about the fact that, again, Hop Hop is spending more time with Sylvia than he was with Sprig. So, there we go. And, it turns out that, Sprig is feeling really bad, but it turns out Sylvia is actually in trouble because the little island that had those flowers on it was actually a gigantic crab, which Anne points out that crab looks really dangerous, but it also looks so delicious. As someone who has crab legs on his full course menu of life, specifically his fish dish, and seeing as how I just did have crab legs over with the sweats, which, again, the sweats and the waterfront, all you can eat crab legs on Wednesdays, always a good thing. I can vouch for the fact that crab did actually look delicious. I can say that. Even for an anime cartoon, yeah, it was actually really good. Anyway, in fact, at the end of the whole ordeal, Anne's like, seriously, can we go back to that crab? Because that looked really good. Anyway, Sprig actually takes up the parasail that Anne was trying to do, and it turns out he's really good at it, so he's able to spot Sylvia from where they are. They save Sylvia, they drive the crab away, they get away perfectly safe and sound, and, everything is, essentially alright with, the world, alright with the episode. But the episode ends with Polly taking up the parasailing, and she's like, Polly, out! And then she's also really good at it. So, yeah, that was really funny. And now we get into the more serious half of the episode, which is Bizarre Bazaar. And Sprig finds some little miniature egg, which is essentially, it leads to a place called the Bizarre Bazaar. Obviously, it's a marketplace where, anything can happen. It's really, sort of mystifying. Think like any of the marketplaces that you see in, like, Aladdin mixed with, the aesthetics of, some of the old-timey 80s movies, like, kind of like Return to Oz and stuff like that. Not that it's actually like that, but I'm trying to give you a brief sort of description of what it's like there. Anyway, you see, Anne thinks going to the Bizarre Bazaar would be important because she's trying to find ways to get home, and she thinks if anyone can find a reason for what the music box or the calamity box, as Pop Pop knows it as, can do, they find it there. Well, it turns out that, when they are at the Bizarre Bazaar, someone takes the music box, and they are able to get it back, but the one person who could actually tell them what the music box actually does, they can't because the Bizarre Bazaar closes. But it turns out the person that ended up winning the music box in the competition was actually Hop Hop in disguise. So, because Hop Hop was warning them, do not go to the Bizarre Bazaar, but, they go anyway. And so Hop Hop, dons a disguise and tries to stop him. And so Anne's like, you're right, I was impatient and trying to learn how to get home. I trust you to take my music box and, you look into your archives, see if you can find a way to get me home. And then Hop Pop's like, I'll do my best. And because Hop Pop knows that the music box is the calamity box, he is aware of how dangerous it is. So later that night, and this is where it made my jaw drop, he takes it outside and buries it. Hopefully never to be seen again, but we know it's going to happen again. If not, we know that it will be seen again. If not at the end of the season, then probably next season, which honestly I hope they get that done over with out of the way, because I don't want to have to wait however long it takes for season 2 to arrive. So, yes, definitely a great way to pique my interest. Definitely a way to really get me excited for next week, considering that, next week we get to the season finale. Cannot wait. I'm excited, really digging this show. Cannot wait to see what happens next. Although, one thing I do have to say in the Bizarre episode, the competition they used to try and get the music box back is essentially Mario Kart, and it's awesome. Seriously, Ann and Sprig are ahead, and the guy, and it was Hop Pop in disguise, but, you don't really know that. Hop Pop actually takes, essentially, it was a blue shell, throws it at Ann and Sprig, and makes them explode, just like in the Mario Kart games, and, they lose. I'm like, that is awesome. Everybody loves Mario Kart. I mean, seriously, I don't think there's a bad Mario Kart game out there, although I will be the one to say that, the Mario Kart N64 on the Nintendo 64 is the best. I can attest to that because I probably played that game for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. Seriously, I think the one game I played more was probably Super Smash Bros., also on the Nintendo 64. Huh. 2 of the best games on the Nintendo 64 have, the most staying power in terms of getting sequels and other sorts of things. So, what can I tell you? Nintendo knows what they're doing. So, that's enough about that. And, with that being said, how about we get into Camille Nanjiani's episode of Hot Ones? He actually did a really good job, I love me some Camille Nanjiani, it was great. I love seeing, some of my favorite comedians do well on the show, and, he did. He was actually able to take it. Although, he was being very sophisticated, and he actually had, chicken strips instead of chicken wings, which, I love me some chicken fingers. Chicken fingers are awesome. Yes, I'm a grown man. I love chicken fingers. I say I'm a grown man. I love a lot of things that a grown man, it would not be apropos to like, I think it was the other day, it was the spa day episode of Amphibia. I still haven't gotten my spa day yet. I should go for a spa day. Spa day and massage. And then get chicken fingers afterwards. Don't get me wrong, I love chicken fingers, there are a lot of places, but that's about, it's real, even stuff like pizza and hamburgers you can get, potentially wrong. I can't think of anywhere that would mess up chicken fingers. Seriously, the only way you mess them up is if, the meat ends up being, if, you don't cook them at all. That's the only way you do chicken fingers wrong. So, yeah. Actually, Wegmans has really good chicken fingers. Come on, it's Wegmans. Wegmans is awesome. I've said that many a time. No kidding though, whenever we would go out to dinner on Saturday nights and I was a kid, chicken fingers was always one thing I would get. Even if, it wasn't really apropos to get them, but I got them anyway. Although there was just one place that used to be on Cuca Lake, and if any of you people are, and if any, Cuca Lake goers are watching, you probably remember this place called the Branding Iron. They didn't have chicken fingers, but man, did they have good fried chicken. And while the moniker of the best fried chicken, not just in Cuca Lake, but probably the entirety of entirety of New York in general, is at Seneca Farms in Penn Yan, the fried chicken at the Branding Iron was awesome. It was. Although, now that my, taste is much more, again, sophisticated. I know the word is sophisticated, but I like being cheeky like that. Looking back on it, I probably could have had more steak there at the Branding Iron. Oh well. You live and you learn. So, yes, cannot wait for the newest episode of Amphibia. Cannot, done until Monday, that is. You know, Hot Ones was great, and again, I've been alluding to something I've been wanting to do in terms of, a series of reaction videos. And unfortunately, the thing I'm trying to do, I want to get it on my TV so you can legitimately watch a better reaction of what it is. Unfortunately, I can't really get it on the TV, at least not in good quality. So, I am going to try and make it work, and I'll give you a sneak peek later today. So, look forward to that. Like, favorite, share, hit that subscribe button, follow me on the social media platforms. I'm humbled I made this video for all of you guys to watch and enjoy today. I'm hopeful we have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Friday. And remember, if any of you guys want to talk with Chat, I'm always going to be here to lend an ear, and I'll always have your back. Take care, and make good choices. See ya.